Ooh, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning and welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth.
And not care who doesn't like it. Over here looking like I didn't stepped in a time machine,
Hang
looking
on.
like I'm on Ben
Hang on,
and
let me
Ted's
see.
Excellent
Oh,
Adventure. Right. You see it, Ben?
I see it.
This
I see
guy
it
said,
now.
I want you to look like a painting today. Like Dwayne said, I look like a watercolor painting. I'm like, okay, I do. I look like Van Gogh painted me right off just on the canvas right now.
You look like GeoCities, man. You look like you were
Yeah.
what was Black Planet? Remember what was the one we used to go to the library at Cookman? It just it was GeoCities. Yeah.
College,
Anyway,
college club.
College Club. Wow. Those were the dangerous days of the internet. That's where, you didn't get flued out. You caught a bus out and you might
Bruh.
not make it back.
Bruh.
If you're a dude. It was a crazy time. I kind of got stranded a couple places there, James.
Let me since Rebecca's not here to tell her story, I'm going to tell mine. So it was college, 1990. Let me stop playing. It was like 99, 2000. But it was, I got I got catfish before catfishing was catfishing, y'all. This guy in Tallahassee at Florida A&M University, old punk ass school,
Lord.
decided that it was like,
Lord.
man, you are so beautiful. And they sent me these pictures, buddy looking like he's like some kind of model or something, light skin with muscles and everything. So he was just like,
How you
yeah,
got
I'm
me
gonna get on the Greyhound. He was light skinned. I had this thing for light skin. That's probably why I can't stand him now. But anywho, Dwayne's cool though. But anyway, so we exchanged the pictures. I'm like, damn, you look pretty good. So he's like, I'm gonna get on the Greyhound bus and I'm gonna come see you. And he had the time and everything. So I'm waiting at the bus stop for this dude to come. Cause keep in mind, we didn't have cell phones at this point. So that's crazy. 99, 2000, we didn't have cell phones. That's really crazy. So I'm waiting for this guy at the Greyhound bus station. He never comes. So I go back to the room. I'm chilling. Never heard from the dude again for like a week. Then finally he hits me back. And it's just like, hey, I'm sorry I didn't come. I didn't show up. I just need to tell you something. I'm like, what's wrong? You got something wrong? You got cancer? It's like, yeah, I'm not the person in the pictures. And he sent the picture.
Oh, Lord.
And I was just like, what the hell? He was like 10 shades. He was 10 shades darker than black.
Oh my goodness!
And then about 400 pounds. Is just
At
gap
midnight.
teeth. Had the earrings in the top.
Oh,
of the ear.
come on, man, James! Don't do the man like
Yeah.
that. I'm sure there was something redeemable about the brother, but he shouldn't have catfished you, man. That's catfishing before it's catfishing. My real brief story about this. I don't even know if I was catfished for sure, but there was this one. We're talking about GeoCities now. We're on the same tangent we've been on. We'll get to the news in a minute. But there's this one chick I met on GeoCities, like I don't know, whatever college club, whatever it was, and she was from Canada, and she looked like Deborah Cox. Now, you know me, back in the day, I was all about how did you get here? That was but Deborah Cox, and she insisted that I fly to Canada. I've always been a little circumspect, James. Something in my radar said, don't take that trip. So I don't know if she catfished me. She might actually have looked as beautiful as she did, but the world will never know. And as a result, everything I'm here doing the show this morning. I'm pretty sure if I had taken that left turn then, James, something crazy would have happened and I wouldn't be doing this right now. But
exactly.
Anyway,
and it would have been a whole other thing.
A whole nother multiverse over here, right? Multiverse of GeoCities or some. Anyway, let's go to some news. Unfortunate news out of New York. Police in New York are looking for Frank R. James, the man believed to have rented a U-Haul van, possibly in connection with Tuesday's subway shooting. The New York Times reports during New York City's early morning commute rush on April 12th, a man released a smoke canister and started shooting on the N train in Brooklyn. So far, at least 16 are injured, 10 of them from gunfire. Officials say around 8:24 a.m. as the N train approached the 36th Street station, a man in construction vest put on a gas mask and started firing at civilians. New York Governor Kathy Hochul pled with New Yorkers saying to stay vigilant and alert. Sounds like something out of a movie. Thankfully, if I'm not mistaken, no one was killed, yet it was a terrifying incident with the potential for mass casualties. You guys been watching? Like, it's crazy out there, man.
Yeah, Ben. So I know there was a second gun that he had that he was trying to use, but that gun actually jammed on him. So I think that really prevented a lot of casualties or more injuries. And I am surprised and I am thankful that no one was killed. So that's a good thing. One thing I do have a problem with is that it was a black man. And my conspiracy theory brain has been working all night long, and I try to stay out of it. But it was just like, let's be, I hate to say it like this, y'all, but what black man gonna do some stuff like this? Why? Why?
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Okay, never mind. Don't worry about it. Never mind, because there's an issue going on here in Georgia where 2 black guys have been burning the postal truck. So yeah.
No. Hush. We shall not bring attention to any black violence in this incident, even though the suspect is apparently black. He didn't kill anybody. I'm grateful that he probably didn't know how to maintain his gun and couldn't get past that jam. So that turns out to be a good thing for a lot of people. So I'm excited about the fact that no one was killed, because there's very few days that we go around here, man, without like just reckless life being taken for no reason whatsoever. Right. So I'm glad that it had that it is. I want to play one clip about this before we move on. Joe Biden is using this as an opportunity to say to call out ghost guns. Let's take a listen to that clip.
Last year alone, law enforcement reported approximately 20,000 suspected ghost guns to the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. That's a 10-fold increase in these ghost guns from 2016. 10-fold in 5 years. These guns are weapons of choice for many criminals. We're going to do everything we can to deprive them of that choice. And when we find them, put them in jail for a long, long time. And if somebody sells a ghost gun to a federally licensed dealer, for example, a pawn shop, that dealer must make the firearm and mark it with a serial number before reselling it. All of a sudden, it's no longer a ghost. It has a return address. And it's going to help save lives, reduce crime, and get more criminals off the streets. We're teaching investigators and prosecutors best practices, how to build these cases, and assigning a coordinator in each of the ATF field divisions to serve as a point person for helping federal, state, and local law enforcement go after ghost guns. If you commit a crime with a ghost gun, expect federal prosecution. But none of this absolves Congress, with all due respect to my members of Congress here, they're the wrong people I'd be talking to, for the responsibility to act. We need Congress to pass universal background checks.
So the universal background checks, that's a standing thing like that. I believe that should be a thing. Ghost guns, for people who don't know what ghost guns are, they're unregistered guns, typically assembled from a kit or 3D printed based or instruction purchased on the internet or at a gun show, or guns that are made without a commercially applied serial number, basically making them invisible and untraceable. The gun involved in the shooting, they do not believe that it was a ghost gun. So it's kind of a strange occurrence that this speech came out on the same day as this, James. I heard you commenting in the background, the coincidence there. But yeah, ghost guns. I didn't even really know. I knew about the untraceable guns because of serial numbers. I did not know that 3D printed guns had become such a big problem that they have to have legislation for it. But, it's 2022.
Yeah. And, I do think it's a good thing, because looking at some of the types of these ghost guns, there does need to be some kind of tracing and everything on them. And now, of course, too, another coincidence, of course, is yesterday Governor Kemp signed into law the carry law, where you can carry without a license now here.
Oh, really? Really?
Yes.
Open carry.
So it open carry. Thank you, Ben. And it's a lot to me. Because everything that's been going on here, it's a lot. It's really a lot. I don't think there has been any thought put into any of this stuff with guns. I just hate it. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
They're going to be real surprised when all of a sudden black folks have enough money to buy as many guns as we want to. Next story. Alabama passes an anti-trans law targeting youth. The governor signed a bill making medical care a felony and teaching in school. Oh, okay. This is a heavy story. And we've been tracking these pieces of legislations across the country. This is not an isolated event. And I want to start, before I even give the details here, I want to start by saying this. You're only going to go as far as your last bigotry. Whatever the last bigotry you're holding on to, that's going to stop you from going wherever you're trying to go. So if your holdout is, I'm cool with everything in the world except for, trans people, well, then there might be a limitation to your trajectory. I digress. On April 7th, lawmakers in the Alabama House passed a bill to make gender-affirming health care for transgender youth a felony. Reuters reports that the bill was passed 66-28 by Alabama's House of Representatives. Medical providers found in violation of the new law, which still needs to be approved by the Republican or signed by Republican Governor Kay Ivey, could face 10 years in prison. 10 years in prison. Reuters reports that Democrats, that's a difficult thing to say fast. Reuters reports. Say that 5 times fast. Reuters reports that Democrats in the Alabama House argue that the bill contradicts Republicans' principles. Republicans Representatives Wes Allen compared the new legislation to laws that prevented minors from getting tattoos or buying cigarettes. This is still an open debate around the country, but I could tell you most assuredly that the laws that are being passed by these Republicans across this country are not designed to do anything but to be cruel and to create another boogeyman. And it's unfortunate, James, because if a child, I don't have to tell you this. If a person has an identity other than what's popular, it's already difficult for these kids in schools. So now you have these governors who all of a sudden they're big, bad men. You're really tough, Ron DeSantis and Kay Ivey. I know you're a woman over there in Alabama. Yo, country ass. I know y'all are tough because you get to pick on the smallest percentage of society, of the smallest group of people, and make them out to be the biggest, baddest boogeyman that the world has ever seen. Forget about Vladimir Putin. You need to be afraid of a trans youth.
And I want to just to correct one thing. Give
me the correction. What did I mess up?
No, you didn't mess up. We had old B-roll on screen. So the footage was saying that the Alabama governor, it was unclear if she was going to sign the laws. She signed the bills already.
She did sign the law. That's what I thought.
Alabama.
That's what I thought. Okay, because as I was reading it and I said, okay, I thought she signed it. So it is now law. Folks, I'm sorry. Listen, Republican Party are masters of doing one or two. This is their technique. You could literally apply this to everything that they do. They take the extreme example of anything and then make you have to be afraid of that. For example, if they're looking at the black community, what do you think they're going to put on Fox News? Do you think they're going to put on Fox News the peaceful protests, or you think they're going to find the 1-2 second incident that something bad happened and they're going to put that on repeat over and over and over again? That's because they do it. They take the worst and the most egregious example they can find. And if they can't find an example, they create it. And in this case, we see that they're taking the fear of of a trans woman going into a women's bathroom, and they're using that as the ground from which they are launching all of this hate-filled bigotry that absolutely does not stop with the trans community. You are an absolute fool if you think you can align with this bigotry against the trans community and come out without having some bigotry slap you in the face. Because it's not stopping there, because we see now they're saying every single gay person who's a teacher is this is what they're saying. They're saying gay teachers are now groomers. Republicans are going to get somebody killed, either directly. Ask Dr. Tiller. I'm sorry, you can't ask Dr. Tiller. I believe that's his last name, Bill O'Reilly, directly from Fox News, directly connected to this man being killed by an extremist abortion activist because of what Bill O'Reilly was saying on Fox News, got a person killed. And here they are going to do the same thing, either directly through the bigotry or indirectly, flag on the play, this law. This is a very direct attack on trans youth. And if somebody ends up killing themselves because of it, Kay Ivey, a pox on your entire house.
There's so much I want to say, but in just to, so you won't get the channel flag, I just won't say anything because I'm really pissed off about it for the simple fact that what they're doing is because you don't know or understand what we go through, and you don't want to understand what we go through. It's just like you don't need. I mean, it makes no sense at all because now you're being a detriment to the youth. And now we're gonna have youth that are afraid to talk about how they feel, their emotions, because around them you have a lot of emotions that you're going through and that you want to talk to somebody about, but you don't know how to talk to anybody about. So now you're not only adding that into the fray, but also now you're gonna have higher suicide rates among queer youth because this is what happens. All of a part of everything that you're doing, this is what goes on. So I'm just like, fuck all of y'all.
Really?
Honestly. True.
Really? With a sick dick is how we finish the sentence in Pompano. Because that's all they deserve. That's all they deserve at this juncture. We'll move on to another story, but I just want to put an emphasis here. Listen, if you're like liberation, except gay people, you're not ready for liberation. If you're like freedom for everybody except for trans people, you're not ready for liberation. If you're like liberation for everything except for black folks, you're not even lying. You're not even in the conversation for liberation, just to be sure. But we're dealing with the Republican Party's ability to poke and prod the bigotry inside of us. Let me tell you something. I'm conservative. I'm conservative in how I raise my family. I grew up in the black church. You know I'm conservative. I got sermons out there somewhere. Somebody will find them eventually, right? You know what I mean? I was as anti-LGBTQ as you can imagine, right? But I had to look at myself in the mirror and say, seriously, like what about their lives bothers me? What does it have to do with me? What does it have to? And people have an inability, particularly Christians. The reason I've started including the church, a lot of people had a really big problem when I started, using my church vernacular as an intentional way of growing this community. But one of the reasons I wanted to bring the church community to the table as well is because, they need to hear this too. You cannot sit here and talk to me about morality and point towards trans people and say, look at how bad they are when I know what's going on in your churches, because I've been at all of them just about. I mean, I know whose deacon is doing who. I know about the family member on the other side of the aisle that I know all. I know about all, because it's happening everywhere. You cannot preach about morality and stand like you have some high horse to stand on when what's going on inside of the churches. Let me get off the black church for a minute. Let me get off the black church. How dare any of these religious institutions attack anybody about morality? Have you seen the sin of the Catholic Church? Have you seen the bodies of youth who have been molested and abused by men who claim they love Jesus. So if we're really going to talk about morality, I think that there are some men who protest too much. Thou dost protest too much. And I think you guys need to fall back lest we have a global alliance of liberated people who will fight back against this Christo-fascism that is really about your inadequacies as a man because, well, you have small dick energy. Moving on.
Yep. And then go back to the black church real quick because
I don't let them
black pastors that get up here in the pulpit and talk about homosexuality in the church, but you got whole ass videos out there. You know what?
Woo-hoo.
I'm gonna stop.
Hello.
And it ain't talking about with no, you know what?
So I will leave you with this. Something, if I were to give a sermon, and I don't do that anymore, but I would ask you like something just dropped on my mind. James, what is the gender of a spirit?
Ooh.
Just like,
damn, Ben.
What's the gender? What is this?
Gender
what is the
neutral,
sexuality? What is the sexuality of the spirit? So literally the thing that's inside of every single one of us is gender neutral and asexual. I'm just like, well, not necessarily asexual. I might have got that one wrong, but somebody who knows all the Q's and P's and X's. I don't know all of it, but that thing on the inside of us.
James, you're not going to get the channel canceled. Ben's going to get the channel canceled.
Right, David.
Okay. Just so y'all know, I have some spiritual validity. The Bible says that God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. So if you could tell me what the gender of a spirit is, if you could tell me the sexuality of the spirit, then I could hear your argument against the LGBTQ community. Until such time, this is a good place for us to take a break. James, drop the gayest song you could possibly drop.
Oh, wait a minute. I can do that. Wait a minute.
I already know what it is.
Hopefully B is in the room. Shout out to B.
Let me go say a prayer.
B, let's tell him you already know what it is.
Got a million things to do today, and you know she's gonna do them. There ain't no doubt. She's got a million.
Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, man, because my gay ass is going to play some more music, and we'll be right back with the Benjamin Dixon Show. And like it or not, y'all stay tuned.
Yeah, she walks on air, and yeah, she does it with such savoir-faire. Don't matter what is standing in her way, 'cause you know she gets
James Conn, right? Y'all better be glad I can't play what the hell I want to play.
She's got what you want.
Tadra Call, It's Raining Men, Lil Nas X. Oh, we can go on and on and on. Because you listen to our music all the goddamn time. But you got a problem when we teach the kids and everything about it, huh? Go to hell.
Come to mama. Come on. Just come to mama. She'll take care of all of your drama. Baby boy. Just come to mama.
Lily, good morning to you. Marshall Reese, good morning. We were worried about you, Mara. We're glad that you are doing okay.
So bend the knee, and if you wanna be a knight, you better prove your loyalty.
Y'all better be glad I can't play Beyonce. I'll play the gayest goddamn Beyonce song in my repertoire, which is all of them, because all the gays love Beyonce.
So boy, don't you cry. Leave all your worries behind. Just come to mama. Come on. Just come to mama. She'll take care of all of your drama. Baby boy. Just come to mama.
It's Ronnie on the line. Yeah, I know she's stressed.
Shout out Buster Be Good. Good morning to you.
Cause she chuckles at all and does it lovingly. And on top of it all, she keeps on loving me. Her eyes, her lips are my desire. She sways her hips and I'm on fire. Yeah, I love her from every angle. But I don't wanna tell her a thing.
Just come to mama. Come on. Just come to mama. She'll take care of all of your drama. Baby boy. Just come to mama.
Sydney Butler, good morning to you. Yes, all the smoke. All of it. Every single drop of it. Latino, good morning to you. Big boy GMC 21, good morning.
My style and now you so blue. Yeah, we don't need know you. Your hometown, we don't need go to.
Snack Panther, did I speak to you? Good morning to you. Tracy Jones, good morning.
The whole man killer. Life so free, can't no man kill him. Came from the bottom, was a broke man, girl. Still move like 10 man with no found window. Boom. Pardon me, I get hectic. I survive through the wreckage. You should go look for the exit. New sheriff in town, I get a little reckless. Mr. Memo, go check the message. I hate then came back for seconds. I hate seeing your fake little necklace. Lifestyle decrepit, I should probably expect this. Too much game for your league.
This internet connection is irking my soul today, Dwayne.
Everything you aim to be, I'm insane and free. You can't tame the beast.
Enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me.
We can come back when y'all ready.
Wait a minute. That's not the right one. This is the original. I'm like, wait, that's not the song.
thinking about you. 아무리 고개 흔들어도 난 네 생각만 하고 있을 뿐. 아무리 딴짓해봐도 난 너의 목소리만 들릴 뿐. 있으면 내
Give y'all some K-pop this morning.
가진 심장이면 please tell me. 빨리 고백해볼까? 눈 감고 말해볼까? 미치겠어 only you. 이런 건 처음이야. 너무 슬리잖아. I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about you, boy. Yeah. All I think about is you.
Hey man, if you have not, oh my gosh, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Everything Everywhere All at Once is one of the best goddamn movies I've ever seen. So I implore all of you to go see it or see it when it comes out on digital, whenever the hell that may be. It's an awesome movie, man. It deals with the multiverse in a wonderful, beautiful way. So make sure y'all go see that. One Source Productions, yes, it came out finally nationwide last week on Friday.
아무리 딴짓해봐도 난 너의 목소리만 들릴 뿐. 있으면 내 here with me. 가진 심장이면 please tell me. 빨리 고백해볼까? 눈 감고 말해볼까? 미치겠어 only you.
Queen P, I appreciate you.
너무 슬리잖아. I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about you, boy.
Marion, good morning. Case Rollins, good morning to you. Absolutely, Esther. Make sure you add that to your list. Irish Jones, right. This hip movement in chat dancing is a lot. Rachel Bennett, good morning, Rachel.
Hey, boy, I can sleep at night. So, 내가 한번 해봐, 이리 와서. Hey, boy, I can sleep at night. So, 내가 한번 해봐, 이리 와서. I've been thinking about you.
One source, right? He is so old now. Y'all, Lord, God bless him. Bless that poor baby. He.
It's been so long I didn't see you on mine.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Welcome back to the screen. Benjamin. Peregrine Dixon. Peregrine.
What's going on, man? Listen, we're Rebecca Azor will be joining us momentarily. James, DJ Exclusive, man. That was a good break. I liked. What was that last song? Boom, boom, boom. I was back here voguing. Boom,
yeah, I've been thinking. Right. See, even Ben has embraced his gayness a little bit. Hey, gay, you know, you got that little bit. He know what voguing is. Look at that. That's embracing your gay culture. Everybody has some. Just embrace it, y'all. Deal with it. Damn.
Bro, can somebody find the video of my dude in the ambulance? Oh, I don't know if he was on his way to an emergency or coming back from an emergency, but brother was voguing for his life. Like, it's like somebody had a gun up to his head and said, you better vogue or you're going to die. And bro, boom, boom, boom. Bro was, I was like, somebody find that link before the end of the show. Now we got some shenanigans here. Now this first shenanigans, anybody familiar with the rapper by the name of GNU? I'm not. I know he was beloved in DC. So shout out to the folks in DC who loved him and knew him best. We have a clip of something that I think though is
B-roll.
It's B-roll. Yeah. This is how they celebrated the homegoing of the rapper GNU. Let's put it on the screen, James, and you'll see he went out the way that he loved to be here, which was in the club. You know, he was fitted, fresh to death, has a new meaning. Holding up the wall at the club has a whole new meaning. But the people loved him. And so shout out to everyone who loved him and knew his music. I just thought that you guys could kind of see where we are in the year of our Lord 20 and 22 games.
So I'm not trying to laugh.
Dwayne, this how y'all do it, Dwayne? Up in y'all area? Do it.
I like the way Ben put that.
What'd you say, Dwayne?
He said he's got nothing to do with it.
Dwayne ain't got nothing to do with this.
So for those that don't know, just so that everyone's not like, what the hell is going on? That is the rapper's embalmed body on stage. Well, I don't know if it's on stage, but it was propped up against something. It's not hanging like some people thought it was. It was standing on the floor. And there was some shock. Apparently, the funeral home contacted the nightclub to rent the space out for a family event. The nightclub claims, and they didn't know. It's Bliss nightclub in DC.
Yeah, Bliss night. Yeah, shout out to Bliss.
That it was going to happen. That this was going to be done.
No, I do want to say. I do want to say. Shout out,
to do it.
David, real quick. David, real quick. I want you to finish that, but I want to shout out to the employees of Bliss because they honestly did not know this was going to happen. There was a sister on Twitter who was like, "Yo, don't blame us. We had nothing to do with it. We just showed up to work, and there was a dead body on stage." I think these people need to be compensated. Sorry, because if I walk into work, bruh, and there's now dead body to be found, I'm quitting, but they didn't quit. The workers, they stayed and they served the family. So this isn't a night. This is not like a normal night at the club. This was a wake, like a pre-funeral service. A repass, yeah. So shout out to the workers who pushed your way through. Solidarity.
Look, and you know what though? Unbelievably, and I ain't gonna say unbelievably, but this happens in Florida, where they will pop up their family members in like different scenes. Because there's another one where they had in Florida. There's a guy in his Cadillac or in his car on the stage. One is he propped up in a chair, just sitting there like he's just.
Oh, I got me a Cadillac
with the sunglasses on and everything. So, yeah, you know, this it's been happening a lot in the South, and it's like between Mississippi and Florida. It's been happening a lot. Ben, the two places that you from, Ben?
Not for nothing. It doesn't seem that far different from Awake, in my opinion. The only difference is temperature. That's the only difference.
David,
that's about right.
Because you know, listen. With all due respect to the dead, to the bereaving family, maybe we take him off the screen for this part because I don't want to disrespect the memory of Gnu. But you know, bodies melt with all that stuff in them, bro. You know, he was up there like. They really pushed the envelope with that temperature. I hope they had that thing set to like 30 degrees in there, but something tells me it was like 2 degrees from hell in that club.
We got someone,
which probably isn't that. It probably isn't a joke I really should have used at that point. Anyway, we're going to get ready for Rebecca Azor. We got another story.
No,
Cam Newton.
She's here.
We're just going to give her a minute so I can get off of that story before I say something.
Okay.
Why Cam Newton? Did y'all hear? Have y'all been paying attention to what Cam Newton is in trouble for? No? Okay. I'll fill everybody in.
We got the clip.
Let's, there's a clip. We're going to give Rebecca a second to join the conversation, but Cam Newton had some comments on women. And, it's sparking outrage. Let's all take a listen to it together. Cam Newton.
I grew up in a 3-parent household. My mom, my father, and my grandmother. I knew what a woman was, not a bad bitch.
Okay, what's the difference?
A woman.
Okay.
A bad bitch is, girl, I'm a bad bitch. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I look the part, but I don't act the part.
Okay.
A woman for me is handling your own, but knowing how to cater to a man's needs, right? And I think a lot of times when you get that aesthetic of like, I'm a boss bitch, like I'm a this, I'm a that. No, baby, but you can't cook.
Okay.
You don't know when to be quiet. You don't know how to allow a man to lead.
Oh, he ran into a freight train at the end. It was like touchy. Oh, bruh. Hey, Rebecca Azor, Queen Azor's in the house. How's it going, sis? You're on mute.
I didn't need a second.
Did she say that? Did she say that? Good morning, Rebecca.
Good morning. I didn't need a second. It was because my audio had changed. I keep hitting the microphone thing. But no, I wish you guys would have introduced me first before we got into that story, because it would suck for me to just go into, uncomfortable mode with that conversation, because I'm the only woman to speak on that. Of how he feels or his statements. But good morning, everybody. Sorry I'm late to the party. But Cam Newton, whom I love, is, and not because his sports or anything. When I was in school, I know he was playing, but over there in Tallahassee. But other than that, he's just fine to me. Now, his comments are his own, right? His comments are how he feels about, women, but it's almost like, I think it's his tone. There are a lot of men, like Cam Newton said this. Cam Newton has money. Cam Newton is one of those people who got a mic, podcasting out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? These men out here podcasting and they're sharing their views. It's the ones who Cam Newton could say this and still go be great. It's the ones who's retweeting, and you click on their pictures and you see their jobs and you see their bodies, and you see that they can't even, they not the ones that are like,
So you saying Cam Newton can say this, but other dudes can't?
Wait. he could.
Is that what you saying, Rebecca?
Is that what you saying?
That's not what I'm saying.
I was just about to say, because goddamn it, no.
I'm the one. Like I say this because there are so many people who are taking Cam Newton's statements. I'm not saying it's because he has money, but I'm saying because he has money, this ain't really gonna affect him. Because he has fame and clout, it's not really gonna affect him. The ones who really out here trying to date, trying to be with women, and are pulling on his words and utilizing this, and also to lead like really abusive or aggressive conversation surrounding especially black women. When we think of bad bitches, right? What do we think of? I'm not going to think of nothing but black women. When we think of the type of woman that he won't, it's like coming from a black man, it's just this conversation gets really, really touchy. And I think that it's just preference. I'll say this, it's just his preference. And it's, this is what he wants. Women who hear this and still want to F with him or still want to mess with him, that's on you. In today's world, everybody is being very loud and proud about their preference. Sometimes it does hit I don't like the way his comments were. I don't like his tone. But at the end of the day, he's not the type of guy that I would go for. And he's saying that who he would go for and what he wants and things like that. I think it was his tone that a lot of women were disturbed with because it was given like I need submissive I need that in the home by the kitchen, covered up when I need her to be. But that's his preference. But at the same time, when you spitting on the mic at that level, and there's so many men who look up to you and think that they could go outside and utilize that same rhetoric, but they can't even fix no cars. They can't even, and then they ain't got no money. You know what I'm saying? If they can't oil change your vehicle, but be wanting and expecting something like that in a woman. Get your house in order first.
There's levels to this thing.
Somebody, Queen P just said it best. White girls will be happy with Cam, and he'll be happy with them. And hopefully, the white women will use some of his money for their therapy.
And or the white women won't.
It's giving big white woman energy.
Or the white women won't kill him and try to get away with it.
So try to get away with it
after and go drink
and then be chilling at the club the next day. Go ahead, Dwayne.
Dwayne.
I don't. How much time we got left? 10 minutes. All right.
13.
So this opens up like a much deeper conversation, right? Because and this is not black women, white women, whatever. Just women in general have been saying for years, like, I want a man that's going to lead. I want a man that's going to take care of me. X, Y,
I'm going to pray for you, Dwayne. I'm going to pray for you as you finish this sentence.
Look, I know what's coming.
This is Dwayne. This is Dwayne and his comments only.
I know what's coming from me, right? But so the same women that have been shouting that for so long are the first ones to condemn Cam Newton for saying, I want my woman to be submissive, X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? So it's like you can't have your cake and eat it too. I'm not saying I agree with his views. I'm not saying that I need my woman to just be, whenever I call, whenever I snap my fingers, like coming to America type stuff. No, but it's a bigger conversation that
play it again for when you get. Let's listen again if you don't mind, Rebecca, because I want to hear his tone again.
Yeah.
All right, here you go.
I grew up in a 3-parent household. My mom, my father, and my grandmother. I knew what a woman was, not a bad bitch.
Okay, what's the difference?
A woman.
Okay.
Bad bitch is, girl, I'm a bad bitch. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I look the part, but I don't act the part.
Okay.
A woman for me is handling your own, but knowing how to cater to a man's needs, right? And I think a lot of times when you get that aesthetic of like, I'm a boss bitch, like I'm a this, I'm a that. No, baby, but you can't cook.
Okay.
You don't know when to be quiet. You don't know how to allow a man to lead.
So that's the tone I'm saying. It's not like his preference is not an issue. It's like I don't have because the older I get, the more traditional I become, right? The more traditional things start to sprinkle in my shanana. And I want to be able, especially because I plan on dating a man from Africa or Haiti, you got to be able to be in the kitchen. That's just what comes with it, right? So I get that. There are some traditional things that I won't, like, I just kind of, like, I have because I grew up in that household. I get it. But it's first of all, his idea, that little piece, his idea of a woman, I'm a bad bitch, and da-da-da-da-da. You know, I think that you can be a bad bitch and still be, you know, somebody who still has traditional values, because it's just, but I think that it's just his preference and what he wants and what he has and what he's looking for. But then again, him saying, you know, a woman who has her own but is able to contribute to her man's needs and things like that. That's also a weight of what a woman has. You know, a man, we traditionally gets to go out, gets to do what he needs to do, like work, and then come home and he has a meal for him. So now he's expecting not only the woman to do those things for him, and if there's children, to take care of the kids, of course, but to have her own. So like at the same time, be not a bad bitch, but a boss bitch, and then, you know, be able to take care of her man and possibly the kids and the household, because that's probably what he's seen growing up. Some women don't want that, but that's what he wants. That's his preference. Now, I did see a little bit more of the interview, and he did, in a way, call out the men. And I can't specifically remember what he said, but he did actually, in a way, condemn the men as well. Now, if a man is looking for a bad, you know, what they're saying, a bad bitch. I keep saying that and it's hilarious. But if the man is looking for a bad bitch, then he needs to make sure that he has what it takes to get that. You can't be saying, that's what I'm looking for. I see a lot of these men on these mics. Like I said, they will invest in the microphone, but you go to their bathroom and behind their toilet seat is ridiculous because they don't know how to clean that up. They will invest in the microphone to put down women, but cannot at all, for the life of me, know how to put a screwdriver into a screw and get things done. You see, but this is what if you want a woman to go cook, we gonna need men to go make sure you're making money for real, and make sure you're able to do things around the house, mow the lawn. If you want a woman to make sure she's able to take care of the kids, if you want to make it traditional, that's what we're gonna have to be. That's the conversation. So you can't be out here saying that you want a submissive woman and you can't even put nothing together. When the refrigerator is broken, it's leaking, you can't do nothing to put it together, and then you ain't got no money to call the repair man.
But it's the part where he said, "You don't know how to be quiet for me." That just kind of threw everything else out the window.
That was disturbing too. But look, now I'm a woman. I talk a lot, as you guys can see. I talk a lot, and there are times where I might get with the man. And like I said, this is for me. This is my preference, just like it was Cam's preference. When I'm in a room sometimes, and if a guy allows me to, that was a guy too. If a guy allows me to,
see,
I will.
You heard the ringtone the way.
You need to be quiet. You need to be quiet. No, if a guy allows me to.
Watching Rebecca go off right now, like, hey.
Somebody watch it, bro.
Her lying ass. They were like, she lying on TV.
If a guy allows me to, because I'm so dominant, you know, it's gonna be like if you can't get me together, if you can't look at me. And then it hits me in my soul where it's like, okay, I might be doing a little bit too much. Because sometimes I do a lot, and sometimes I will.
I just don't think Cam has the right to declare all those things simply because he has money. Does he have anything worthwhile to say for a woman to shut up?
He's still gonna. What I'm saying is, he's still gonna get women. Period. Who cares? They're gonna look at him having money, and they're going to continue to be like, "I will be quiet for Cam. I will be submissive for Cam." Now, the guys who really are like gassing him up just for that part. Like I said, he did have the conversation about men as well. You got to watch the full interview. However, those comments saying, you need to know when to be quiet. In that tone, there are some women who can understand that. There are some women who are okay with that. Now, there are other women who saying, "What the hell?" Going on here? It's 2022.
I love you. You are simultaneously, because I don't want to say a bad But you also are very like. But I'll be quiet if you tell me to.
No,
right. Then it's like my mind is all over the place right now.
But that's almost. You gotta understand. Traditionally for me, like especially growing up in my household, there are things that I will take, and there are things that I won't. I'll be in the room with my man, and sometimes y'all see my mouth. Sometimes it goes here, there, everywhere, and instead of my man being like, trying to rough me up, all he gotta do is give me a look, and I'm gonna be like, oh,
rough you up.
Dang. All right, so I was gonna say I can kind of see why Rebecca is playing both sides of the fence, if you want to call it that, because like, yes, the traditional role of women, of what we've seen as like grandparents, things like that, is the woman was taking care of the house, was I don't even want to say doing what she was told, but kind of that kind of thing.
Please don't say that.
No, not. I mean, it's tough for me to choose the right words, but I can see why she's doing that, because I feel like the generation we're in right now is stuck in the middle of, we want both the traditional and the new age, like new millennium kind of way of doing things, but you can't have it both ways. And I saw somebody ask me, I don't remember who it was, asking in the chat how many women have told me this when I made my first point. Make it clear, I've been off the market for a long time. I ain't in these streets. I ain't in these streets no more. But the internet will tell you just about anything you want to know. I gotta make that clear, because I ain't out here. Ain't no women telling me this right now. Got a nice happy home. We're gonna keep it that way.
That's right.
Okay.
This only other thing I would say. That's the only thing I'm gonna say. Isn't there? There's a lot more to. If I were to ever go back on the market, which I probably won't ever go on the market, but I'm not looking for a bad bitch. Can we get some aunties? Like, there's a whole range of black women. This goes between like your traditional grandma and Cam Newton's bad bitch, right? Can we get like the aunties that still know how to throw it back in the club, but also know how to cook a hot meal? You know what I mean?
Not only can you throw it back in the club,
there are several. Oh, because this delay is terrible. There are several definitions of a bad bitch, so it would depend on what type of bad bitch you're referring to. My definition of a bad bitch is going to be, a female that handles her business, does what she does, knows how to treat a man, but it's just like, is she cool? She does her own thing. I do mine. She got her own money. She don't depend on me for no money. That's, to me, is a bad bitch, a boss bitch. Honestly, that's what I consider a bad bitch to be.
I get it. I'm right there with you. I understand. Everybody has their different definition of what that may look like in your life. Just like Kevin Samuels keeps talking about a high value man. And for men, for so many men, for so many different men, high value men.
I don't know why that tickles me so much right now.
So many different men will say, I'm a high value man, but you looking at this man say he high value, and you look at this other man saying he high value, and it definitely differs. What a high value man is for me may not be what a high value man is for the next person. High value man. Now, a high value man might think that he grabs a microphone, because I got a problem with these podcasts and high value men. They might grab these microphones, right? Turn on they damn cameras and start talking crazy. But they believe that they're preaching to women how to be a high value woman because they are high value men. But everybody has their own definition of that. Now, this goes into, like Dwayne was saying, like some of the people in the comment section are saying, I used to be in these streets a long time. I mean, long. I've been in this world about 31 years. I've been in these streets about.
It's been 84 years.
I literally am in the street.
I about fell out of the damn chair.
When I grew, but I'm like, the older I'm getting, and the more I know that if I want a certain type of person, or if I want to, I know that they're gonna be. It's not me changing who I am. These are values that I grew up with, so I can tap into those things.
That's true. True.
And so it's your preference. Nowadays, I think that we're so, and here I go, sound like an auntie, because I'm mixed of a bad bitch and an auntie.
What auntie's that?
Here I am, sound like an auntie. The fact that people are so sensitive right now when it comes to the surrounding conversation about relationships, it's problematic. I think that
I would never say that word in reference to a woman.
You go date how you want to date, but you go date how you want to date, unless we're talking about, oh my gosh, I like the way he whoops my ass in the morning, noon, and night, and I go to work. I like to make sure I like to put drinks in my woman's regular drink so she don't even know that I'm getting her drunk. Those are problematic situations.
Wait a minute. We took a whole turn somewhere.
What's my man?
Wanting a woman to cook and be a little bit submissive, and I don't think that a woman wanting her man to be able to change the tires and mow the lawn is problematic. But if that's not what you want, go find what you want. Join a different conversation. Man. Twitter has different spaces for those things. But yep, that's my
after party.
After party.
After party.
Hey. Actually, I gotta go a little early.
That conversation went left real quick.
Don't play no games with me.
All right, y'all. Make sure that y'all stay tuned. After party is starting up next. Do you need help, Rebecca?
Who make the party feel alive? Tell them, yeah, that's me. My girl's so proud of your boy when they ask, is that your man? Yeah, that's me. And if I'm taking a shot, I don't miss. Who knew I would be at the top like this? And no one made my goals for me. But I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Cause it's the path that God chose for me. So even if some doors close for me, I still won't let y'all close to me. So please step back where you're supposed to be. Put the game all on hold for me. And sit back, watch me roast to be. It's in my genes, I'm better than them. And I know my flow too sick, I got the medicine. I'm way at the top, who could take my place? I went too hard.
Right, y'all. We thank y'all again for tuning in. We are now going to the after party, man. And you too can get access to the after party by going to patreon.com/likeitandnot, patreon.com/the BPD show. Yes, the public stream, not the public stream, the after party is private, so you will need to switch streams today, man. So we will see you in the after party. If we don't see you in the after party again, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Your affirmation for today is true happiness is inside me. True happiness is inside me. That is a terrible affirmation because that can go so many ways. True happiness is inside me. Yeah, that ain't happiness. That's something else attached to, you know what? We'll see y'all tomorrow.
All I see is blessings, got no time for stressing. Don't believe in failures in my life, it's only lessons. They just making room for what I'm on now. I don't got a clue, but I know the one who does know how.